Hello everyone, welcome to Java Tutorials. This is our first tutorial. So in this tutorial, we will be learning about introduction of Java, history of Java, features and uses of Java. So let's start with the introduction part first. So the first question is, what is Java? Java is a programming language and a platform which is used to create a lot of applications and websites. Nowadays, you can find Java is everywhere, from your desktop applications to your server-based application, from your mobile phones to your refrigerator or washing machine. From embedded system to robotics, Java is used everywhere. And Java is both compiler and a interpreter based language. I will tell you about this in later this tutorial. So now we know that Java is a programming language. But what is a platform? Any software or hardware environment in which a program runs is called a platform. So our next important question is, what made Java so special? The very first thing that made Java so special is its platform independence. And the other important thing that made Java so special is its object-oriented approach. So let's have a look at both of these. Let's start with platform independence first. Suppose you are creating a file in C++ using your Windows operating system. So when you compile your program, what C++ will do is that it will use the resources of your Windows operating system to generate your output. That means now your C++ program is completely dependent on your operating system. So what will happen if you like to transfer that file from one operating system to another operating system? It will not be done. Why? Because C++ is now completely dependent on your operating system in which you had made your program. Suppose I have made mine in Windows operating system, so it will be compatible with my Windows operating system only. So if I like to execute my command on different operating system like Linux or Macintosh or any other operating system, it will not be done. So to eliminate this drawback, what came into picture was Java Virtual Machine. So now what happened in Java is there is another layer in between your program and Windows operating system or any other operating system. When you create a program and when you compile your code, it is converted into a bytecode first. That bytecode is portable and can be executed on different operating system. So what you have to do is you have to create a program, compile the program, and it will generate a bytecode, and that bytecode can be executed on any other operating system which has its own Java virtual machine. So this is how platform independence work in Java. When you compile your program, it will be converted into a bytecode. That bytecode is executable on any of the operating system. Whether you take a Linux operating system or Macintosh or Windows or any other operating system, what you will need is the Java virtual machine for that operating system, and it will work fine the same way as it will be working on the older operating system. So there are two more important points about Java virtual machine and Java is the first one is Java C, that is our Java compiler that converts source code to bytecode. Our another point is Java virtual machine. As we have seen in our previous slide, Java virtual machine, it is an interpreter that converts bytecode to machine language code, and bytecode is generally represented in hexadecimal format. So the whole scenario about platform independence is that after compilation, the interpreter reads the generated bytecode and translates it according to the host machine, that is your operating system. And bytecode is interpreted by Java virtual machine. So our next important feature is object-oriented approach. What is an object-oriented approach, or why we actually needed a object-oriented approach in Java? Object-oriented means we organize our software as a combination of different type of objects that incorporates both data and behavior. Let's take an example. Suppose person is an object. It will have its own feature like it will have its name, age, color, height. It will perform some function that it works, salary. So object is nothing but a combination of data and method. That is, object contains data and code that manipulates that data. And what is class? Entire set of these features, that is of objects that can be wrapped into one entity, is called as a class. So we can say that class is a blueprint from which any number of objects can be created. Let's take another real world example. Let's create a class called fruits. So what will be its object? Its object can be the number of fruits like mango, banana, orange, because all of these objects will possess different features. So let's move on and have a look at important features of object oriented approach. Objects, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction and encapsulation. We will have a look at all of these features in our later tutorials when I will be telling you about all of these practically. So our next question was why we actually needed a object oriented approach. What were the drawbacks of the previous approach, that was procedure oriented approach? These are the few basic differences. There are many more, but the most important ones are that in procedure oriented approach, data was treated not that important, but in object oriented approach, data is of much importance. Another important thing which we have got in object oriented programming is that we can use access specifier, that is public, private and protected. It is used to give access to the data. That means I can select the visibility of my data to the number of functions I want to. data moving, that is procedure oriented approach, data can move freely within functions. That was not a good approach. But in object oriented approach, only objects can move and communicate with each other through member functions. Another important feature of object oriented approach was data hiding. That means you can provide security to your data and application. In last, you can see there are few examples of procedure oriented programming language and object oriented programming language. So these are the basic things you have to know about object oriented programming, procedure oriented programming and Java. Now let's have a look at the history of Java. I will not be boring you with the history. I have just written 3 points for history of Java. That it was first developed in 1991 by James Gosling. It was initially named as Oak because while he was developing Java, there were too many oak trees around him. Then Sun Microsystem later released the first implementation of Java in 1995. If you want to learn more about the history, you can check out the books. So let's move on and see few more important features of Java. Java is simple and robust. That is, it has strong memory management, automatic garbage collection, exception handling mechanism, and type checking mechanism. Another important feature of Java is multi-threaded. So what is multi-threading? Multi-threading means you can execute different programs concurrently. That means you can perform different actions simultaneously. The main advantage of multi-threading is that your program can share memory. Another important feature is that it is secure. Java does not use pointers, so there is no direct access to your memory location. Bytecode verifier, that means when your file is converted into a bytecode, it is verified. When it's compiled and it is converted into bytecode, any illegal fragments will be eliminated thereon or it will throw an error. Each program runs under Java virtual machine first. That means there is no direct link of your program to your operating system. It will be first converted into a bytecode and Java virtual machine will then interpret the code. And the last and the important one is security manager. That means it determines which resource a class can access, such as reading or writing to local disk. So other important feature about Java is that it is compiled and interpreted. I have explained to you about this earlier in this tutorial. Another important feature is that it is distributed, dynamic, architectural neutral, high performance and portable. So these are the basic and important features of Java. Now let's move on to the uses of Java. As I have told you, nowadays Java is used everywhere. So let's take few examples of our day-to-day life to see the uses of Java. First one is web application. You can use any of the web application. Many of them will be using Java. Like for example, irctc.co.in. The another one, desktop application, your media player, antiviruses uses Java. Enterprise applications. Any of the banking application uses Java. You can check it for yourself. When you go on for any transaction in any bank site, it will ask for the Java first. Mobile applications. Even mobile phones are based on Java. Games, robotics, embedded system, everything uses Java. So this will be all about the introduction part and the features and uses of Java. In our next tutorial, I will tell you how to download and install Java and Eclipse. And then I will tell you about the features of Eclipse. And afterwards, we will start with the programming. So keep watching and keep learning. I will try to keep it easy and simple as much as I can. Have a good day.